Good. Smithville Board of Alderman meeting is now called to order. I've asked Mr. Jeff Wunsch to lead the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Alderman Sarver.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Alderman Holbert. Second motion. Thank you. Also, as part of the consent agenda, we have a temporary prosecutor. We need to nominate. I think everyone got their resume this weekend. First, I nominate Zachary Thompson as a temporary prosecutor for the March 20th, 2019 court appearance. Clerk, please call roll.
Alderman Atkins.
Aye.
Alderman Sarver.
Aye.
Alderman Wilson.
Aye.
Alderman Blumker.
Aye.
Alderman Chevalier.
Aye.
Alderman Hurlbert.
Aye.
6-0.
Motion carries. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Abstain. Thank you. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the mayor's report. As part of that, Jeff has asked to talk to the board and let us know that there's some activities going on Friday for Man of the Year. So give him a few minutes to present. If you'd like, step up to the mic and state your name. Let us know what's going on.
Thank you. Thank you, Board Mayor. My name is Jeff Wunsch. I'm a resident in Greyhawk. I'm a husband and father to 4 kids, all at Maple Elementary, which is miraculous in and of itself. 7 years ago, I was fortunate enough to be a perfect match for an 8-year-old boy who suffered from leukemia. I was able to donate my own bone marrow and ship it across the ocean to the United Kingdom to save his life. So he's 15 years old today. Since then, I've been an advocate for adding folks to the bone marrow registry, and more recently, in November of last year, my grandmother passed away due to cancer. So this year, I wanted to do something a little bit more. So that's what this is. It's called the Man of the Year, Woman of the Year campaign, and it benefits Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. It just kicked off last Thursday. It's a 10-week campaign. It's very quick. And I appreciate the support of our community. I'm the only candidate from Smithville representing. So I appreciate everyone's support. The first kind of kickoff event is this Friday. It's at the Legion. It's a free show. It's a Cassie Joy concert. I don't need to tell you who Cassie Joy is. So that'll be a fun time. I encourage everyone to come out and listen to some great music and help support a really good cause. If you want to follow along, my website is wishforcures.com. And then on Facebook, if you search Wish for Cures, you'll be able to follow along there as well. So we're going to add more events throughout the month, April and May. So that's all I have. Are there any questions or feedback?
Wish you luck and thank you
Yeah.
for being here tonight.
Yeah, I appreciate the invite. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so it's been a busy, last week was busy. Apparently we had a time machine also because we traveled to March 28th to do the State of the City. So the Chiefs won the Super Bowl or no?
So that didn't help that.
The Pleasant Valley Chiefs did not win the Super Bowl. All right, so on the 20th, I presented at the school board meeting on the Missouri Eats program. 21st, we had Parks Board meeting here. It was a nice short meeting, about 3 things. 23rd and 24th, I was up at Chillicothe and saw their Main Street program. All the signage has changed up there. It's pretty impressive what they've done. 25th, we had our work session, 26th was the mayor's prayer breakfast, and on February 28th was the state of the cities. And then today I was out at Maple Elementary talking to the 5th graders who will be traveling to Blue Springs. They're having an election for 5th grade mayor. They have 10 candidates out of 50. They have a primary, get it out of 3. So it should be an interesting election. That's all I have. Tomorrow I meet with Larson's and there's a school forum. That's why we do this meeting. Committee reports. Alderman Blunker, giving a report for Parks and Rec.
Can I defer to you?
Sure. So we met, and we really talked about the playground equipment coming in. We've asked the Parks Board to kind of come up with realistic priorities to get the Brett budget, and talk about some events, some movie night stuff, talk a little bit about the bike race. I looked at our data from the September race, and with 10 days ago, we had 3 people registered. We ended up with 50. Right now, we have 65 days to go till our next race, and we already have over 20. So, making progress. That's it. And then EDC met, Alderman Sarver, what do you have to report?
We discussed the importance of the 2020 census and how citizens can get involved. We had a discussion about recycling for businesses. WCA only recycles for residents, and they've got quite a problem with cardboard. And they were hoping maybe have a discussion about having a central location possibly where they can do some recycling. They talked about the request for 2020 budget and the possibility of maybe having a pamphlet that developed that could be put in places like the Linton Center, where we don't have anything there now. And they're also going to go to quarterly meetings. The next meeting will be April, and August, and November. That's it.
Next is the city administrator's report. So I can get a report.
A few items I'd like to highlight from the packet and a couple of new items. As I indicated, and I've talked several times in the citizen survey, we had a tremendous amount of response. ETC looks for 600 responses for a sample size that provides a confidence level that they would like to see. We had over 670 responses. They've tabulated those responses and provided that to us. Nikki and I have been reviewing that information, and we will provide that to you all, and we'll have that to present in work session on the 19th of this month. A couple of highlights, though, and teasers of that information. 80% of the respondents who had an opinion were satisfied with the overall quality of police services. That puts us above both the Kansas and Missouri comparables that they have, as well as national comparables. 71% of those who had an opinion were satisfied with the quality of waste services, and 67% with the quality of customer service that they were provided. The report does a very good job of providing some geographical information of where responses are coming from. Then it also looks at questions that rank importance of services and identified some areas with most emphasis necessary for the coming years, and that includes maintenance of city streets, effectiveness of community planning and development, and flow of traffic and construction management. I think a lot of the results, particularly when you look through the written comments, are reflective of the time the survey was conducted in the height of construction season, where getting from here to there was difficult. So I think we can look at the results with a grain of salt in some areas, but it's very good, helpful information, and will inform the beginning of our strategic planning process. With the item on the agenda later this evening, if you all do approve that, as I think I indicated in my report, Nikki has weekly meetings with the project manager from that firm scheduled so that they can coordinate efforts and begin planning for implementation of that project. As I indicated in the staff report, June 8th is scheduled as what they call a think tank, which brings representatives, people from across the community representing various backgrounds and thought collectives and various parts of the community. That will be the first major piece of the process. Nikki is working with them to develop that calendar. We'll have continuing information to provide to you all as we move through that process. but have asked that if you have names identified of people that you think would be good to be involved in that process, that you could get those to Nikki and I, and we'll start compiling on that list to begin working with the consultants on that. We want to have, like we said, a broad cross-section of community representing neighborhoods associations, schools, business community, religious community, any aspect we can think of. And the more people we can involve, the better a process we'll have. I'm trying to remember what I put up here. We have had, as you all know, we've talked several times, and there were articles in the paper, rash of property thefts in unlocked cars. And I included in your report information that we are not alone. The Northland is not the only place in the metro area that's been affected by this, and the Johnson County Sheriff's Department put together, I don't know if you all had a chance to take a look at it or not, a very good video reminding people to make sure and lock your vehicles and protect your belongings. And I had shared the information with the chief. We were trying to look at developing something similar so we can get that out as well. We can do that pretty easily. Quickly wanted to provide an update on where we are on construction projects. It's cold and snowing, so not a lot going on. Done. Actually, the sewer project and interceptor are proceeding. They continue to work as they can. I think I had indicated to you all a couple of meetings ago that we would have a fairly sizable change order relating to the condition of soil that they found on site. It has actually caused the concrete pipe to bend to an egg shape because the soils are so soft. We have a change order there that we believe should be able to be addressed through the force account. We're continuing to review that and review some of the work that maybe could have been completed in review of that by the engineer. So we're in continuing discussions there. Work both there on the interceptor piece as well as the pump station continue. We should still have both of those projects completed by the end of the year. The downtown streetscape project is really about 95% complete. You can't see a lot of it right now because it's covered in snow. You have seen some light poles go up downtown. We've begun light work on the wiring for those. Really the only weather-dependent work that is left is in the far west side of the street. Removal of the rest of the roadway there, and then putting down a layer of asphalt, and then a final layer of asphalt. We need consecutive good days to be able to work on that, though. And then, of course, temperatures like this just aren't conducive to a lot of work getting done on yours. Second Creek Bridge, the contractor is currently on hold due to the weather. The cold temperatures have really slowed down that project. We had a conference call on that last week, and the contractor has requested some weather delays based on the lack of ability to be able to get out there. Initially, per contract, Second Creek the bridge was supposed to open the 26th of this month. We don't believe that will happen. How long it will be delayed is in part based on that discussion between the contractor and the engineer on the allowable number of days for the weather delay, but then also just their ability to be able to get out there. Once they're able to get out there, it should be pretty quick before they're able to get the road open back up. And finally, the design work for commercial sidewalks and Main Street Trail. CFS, the engineering firm, has had survey crews out to obtain the elevation and location data to begin that process. And their contract is to begin design on the commercial work first, and that piece of the project done hopefully as close to before school starts as possible, and then do the Main Street piece. The final item that I have relates to a conversation that occurred at the State of the Cities address last week. The city of Kearney has to purchase a street sweeper, and the mayor of Kearney, Mayor Blomberg, that was Freudian. Excuse me, Mayor Boley. I don't even think you were at the meeting, were you? Approached Mayor Boley about the possibility of perhaps we selling our street sweeper to them. I was approached the next day by the city administrator asking for a quote on that. I indicated that I didn't have direction from my board as to if there was even an interest in that. We currently have a lease purchase. I have not explored whether we could get out of that lease or not, what that would need to look like. Wanted to, before I spend any more time on looking at that, is that something that you all would like to pursue? Or would you prefer that we keep our street sweeper and continue on working through a schedule? I know that we got it just last year. We've not been through a full year of being able to utilize it. We ran into some weather delays with it. I think we need to better manage the utilization of the sweeper, but looking for direction from you all if we explore whether we could get rid of it or if we want to maintain that.
Alderman Wilson?
I would suggest exploring first to see if we can even consider getting out of the current lease agreement we have. If we can't, then there's no need to pursue it further.
Alderman Chevalier?
Yeah, I mean, I like having a street sweeper, but I think if we're gonna have it, we need to have some sort of strict schedule, to make sure that neighborhoods are getting touched often. And I haven't seen that happen yet. I'd like that to happen.
Do we both have to have one, or could we figure out how to share one?
We could definitely look at that if that's something that would be possible through our lease agreement. As I said, I'm not sure there. My only concern with that is if we were to give it up to them, we would lose the ability for kind of that first right of scheduling and potentially, depending on the way an agreement were scheduled. But there's obviously a way to be able to look at shared opportunities there, depending upon how ownership falls and how agreements are written, how we would be able to manage those schedules. One thing to remember, there is a little bit of weather dependence related to, the streets have to be, they can't be frozen. But so you have to have some warm days, and those first warm days are kind of the days you want to be able to utilize it. Both communities would like to be able to use that one thing, but you think.
We could have it from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., they could have it from 7 p.m. to 7
There you go. There you go. That works.
We're happy to work with Garmin.
We're happy to work with Carmen. That was the message of the state of the city.
Everyone.
The one I gave?
Pleasant Valley.
Thank you for creating that.
Are we not satisfied with it? Been problems or?
We've not been able to schedule use as much as we would desire. I think part of that is we got the street sweeper last spring, went through training, and then we're learning how to use it, and we need to better manage the schedule.
We had one full north to south sweep right after July 4th, and that was it.
Right.
Correct.
So, and if you look at the budget, it's a pretty pricey piece of equipment.
Okay, so I think you have direction and to look at if it's even possible and
We'll
see
explore
what they
that
want
from
to
back
do.
to you all. Okay.
Sounds good. Anything else? I think that was all your bullet points.
Yes, it was. I'm sorry.
All right, next on the agenda is item number 7, bill number 2827-19. Alderman Holbert.
I move to approve bill number 2829-19, rezone 5 acres and Archer Acres from A1 to AR for the second reading.
Thank you. Alderman Sarver.
Second motion?
Second by Alderman Sarver. Any discussion? I think the applicant's here too. No questions? Clerk, please call roll.
Alderman Hurlbert.
Aye.
Alderman Chevalier.
Aye.
Alderman Blumker.
Aye.
Alderman Wilson.
Aye.
Alderman Sarver.
Aye.
Alderman Atkins.
Aye.
6-0.
Motion carries. Ms. Wagner, please read the bill.
An ordinance changing the zoning classifications or districts of certain lands located in the city
Sorry, just hold it a little packed tonight.
Right.
All right, next item on the agenda, is the emergency ordinance for our GO bond issuance. Bill number 2830-19. Do I have a motion to approve? Alderman Belkry?
I move to approve bill number 2830-19, GO bond issuance, emergency ordinance, first reading.
Thank you. Alderman Wilson?
Second.
Alderman Wilson, any discussion? Clerk, please call roll.
Alderman Wilson.
Aye.
Alderman Sarver.
Aye.
Alderman Atkins.
Aye.
Alderman Blumker.
Aye.
Alderman Chevalier. Alderman Hurlbert.
Aye.
6-0.
Motion carries. Ms. Wagner, please read the bill.
An amended and restated ordinance authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $3,625,000 principal amount of general obligation bonds, Series 2019, of the City of Smithville, Missouri, and certain other documents and actions by the city.
Thank you. All right, for the second reading, Alderman Walker.
I move to approve bill number 2830-19, amending the GO bond, second reading.
Thank you. Alderman Wilson.
Second.
Second by Alderman Wilson. Any discussion? Clerk, please call roll.
Alderman Blumker.
Aye.
Alderman Chevalier.
Aye.
Alderman Hurlbert.
Aye.
Alderman Atkins.
Aye.
Alderman Sarver.
Aye.
Alderman Wilson.
Aye.
6-0.
Motion carries. Ms. Wagner, please read the bill.
An amended and restated ordinance authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $3,625,000 principal amount of general obligation bonds, Series 2019 of the City of Smithville, Missouri, and certain other documents and actions by the city.
Thank you. Just the one signature, right? Or is there two on that one?
Oh, there's just one.
So that's two.
That one has 2.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I marked both of them.
Okay.
Yeah, there it is, sorry. I saw it. I saw it going out, yeah, there's that.
Mhm.
Okay, next item on the agenda, resolution 670, video storage for police cameras. Alderman Atkins.
I move to approve resolution 670, approving storage for the police cameras.
Thank you. Second, Alderman Chevalier.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any discussion? All right. All those in favor of approving resolution 670, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is resolution 671, final plat for Archer Acres. Alderman Holbert.
I move to approve resolution 671, the final plat for Archer Acres.
Thank you. Alderman Chevalier.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor of approving resolution 671, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is resolution 672.
I move to approve resolution 672, awarding bid number 19 19-03 for citizens-based strategic plan.
Thank you. Alderman Wilson?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
It's already been said, but I believe this is one of the most exciting things we will do as a city in a long time. This is a group who's going to do several think tanks and really get folks involved, so we need everyone to come forward, share your ideas. This is a process that's been used by several communities to really identify what amenities that they want and ways to get there. So the more folks we can have involved, the better, and a broad breadth of communities. So not just city focused, but school, all over it. So bring it forward and we'll have plenty of information to come out of this process, but a really interesting firm who looks at this in a much different manner. So I'll put out the plea for the community to come forward and share your ideas.
Anyone else? I think it's great. Can't wait until it starts. All right, all those in favor of approving resolution 672, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries. All right. Next item on the agenda is number 12, resolution 673-675. Alderman Crawford.
Do we do these each separate?
No, you can do them all together.
And then ask,
Mhm.
okay. Then, Mr. Mayor, I move to approve resolution 673 through 675, the MoDOT Highway Safety Grant Agreement for 2019.
Thank you. Alderman Wilson.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? No? All right. All those in favor of approving resolution 673 through 675, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is number 13, resolution 676. Alderman Blocker.
I move to approve resolution 676, amending the schedule of fees.
Thank you. Alderman Servant.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Alderman Servant.
I just want to make sure this, I forgot to double check, this is at 1 inch for residential, right?
This is everything, so it's a 1 inch for residential, that's correct, and it does not implement until the June billing.
Okay.
Yeah, I checked that too. The packet and the per 1,000 gallons. All right, any other discussion or questions? All those in favor of approving resolution 676, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no.
No.
Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is number 14. Public comment cards are available at the table. I have one. Do you have anyone? Mr. Horrocks? And state your name for the record, your address, and you have 3 minutes, please.
David Horrocks, 18405 North Main, Smithville, Missouri, about the East Michigan. I've come to you a couple of weeks ago on that to get some clarification if you guys was going to honor that original agreement. And I wanted it in writing either way on that. Did you guys decide anything?
Yeah, we
What we
have,
was gonna do?
our attorneys drafted the letter and you should get that in the mail probably within a week or so.
Okay. I'll be seeing that.
Yeah.
In about a week.
All right. Any other public comment for this month? So then we'll go on to discussion of special road districts.
Last August, we had a discussion with regard to establishing a special road district. And if you all will recall, we receive funds from Clay County from a special road and bridge tax that is assessed on citizens, but we receive a portion of those. We have presented in our recommendation to the board that we could increase the amount of revenues coming to the city if we were to establish a special road and bridge district. To do that, 50 voters registered within the district would have to sign a petition and submit that to Clay County, and then Clay County would set an election, calling for an election of voters within the proposed district to determine whether or not to create a road and bridge district. That district would then be able to be comprised of district members that would make recommendations with regard to utilization of those funds collected there. But we could increase, we estimate an additional $60,000, $128,000, I'm sorry, I read the wrong line, of revenues should we create a district. Based on board direction that last year, we proceeded with updating the survey of the community and incorporating the annex areas to outline a district, and have drafted a petition which we've included in the packet. And really not looking for direction from the board at this point in time. We've provided you all the information to be able to obtain signatures and submit information to the county if that's something that we would want to proceed with, which I think is probably a good idea to be able to have an additional $120,000 for road projects within the community.
You have copies of that as well?
I don't have,
So there's one in the packet.
there's one in the packet. I do have copies that I can provide you, so yes.
We know exactly where we can put residents, we can solicit that from, or?
That is a good question. It would be those within the resident, we can get you that, a map that would include, because the description is a legal description, so it shows the bounds and meets and bounds of the community, but we can get that around them as well.
I think all your neighbors have all.
Yeah, I think all of your neighbors would qualify, yeah.
Do they have to be registered voters to sign it?
They do have, thank you, they do have to be a registered voter.
So how many signatures do we need?
50.
So should we shoot for what, 100 maybe just?
I would recommend shooting for as many as you can get, just so that, make sure that you have 50 certified, but yeah,
And we're allowed to go out and ask for these?
you are, that's correct.
That's good. Any other questions? All right, any new business for the floor? From the floor? Dr. Harrison?
No, no, sorry.
Do you guys want to add anything to the agenda based on your discussions tonight at John's?
I can give a quick update on it. So from 5 to 6:30 p.m., Alderman Harper and I hosted a listening session with the open to anyone, but really focused on the downtown heritage district with regards to amenities and other things to kind of finalize the downtown streetscape project. It was a discussion and listening session. Several great ideas came out of it, and we've asked for a little bit more clarification around some things, and they get us a response within the next 10 days or so to be included in our next packet before our next board's meeting,
Work session.
to allow us to then kind of take a look at and discuss and hopefully come to a resolution on some of those things. So as spring is on its way, whether we will it in or have to go truck it in to make sure it gets here, we want to make sure that our businesses can go use those areas and get our downtown vibrant that we know it can be.
Awesome. Anything else? All right. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Alderman Perla,
Move to adjourn.
All right, all those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries.
Good minute.